Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Zoom. My name is Tammy Malby Melchizedek, and I am here with my partner. I'm not going to say in crime, Julie, but just my
Almost.
partner in life and in business, the beautiful Julie Park. And we're so glad you've joined us to take these few minutes to learn about one of our new products. And to learn how you're going to be affected by this product and how you can have a glow up experience with our new product, Everglow. So Julie and I were able to be on the testing, some of the first people to test the product. And so I had the privilege of being on this amazing product for 7 weeks. Actually, it was for four weeks and then 7 weeks. And my before and after results were incredible. These are untouched photos of my arms. You want to show it to him, Julie?
Mm-hmm. Coming
Now you
up.
have to understand, I do not like that first picture. I don't like it at all.
Yeah,
But
but we do.
yeah, but you will see the incredible result that comes from this wonderful product. And this is Tammy on the left, and those are my arms. This is literally 8 weeks after my first drink, and I was only drinking it once a day, three little scoops in the morning. That's what I encourage you. Drink it in the morning right away. Take your drops and then drink your Everglow. But look at that. Is that incredible? And the pictures now of my face, what I'm seeing with the tightening of my skin, even in my face, the dark spots, we'll go through some of those things. But my personal transformation is incredible. The second picture is Brenda Carlton. Look at
Mm-hmm.
that. Isn't that crazy? It's
Crazy.
real and it is really impacting all of our lives. But I'm going to turn it over to Julie and she's going to share basically all what is actually happening with this product. Why does it work so uniquely different than any other collagen product out there? Because it's so much more than a collagen product. And Julie's going to share with us why. So take it away,
Yes.
darling.
And a lot of you on this call right now are partners that, you get asked a lot of questions and maybe you're not as familiar with the science behind our products. So this is a special call where it's not just about, okay, these people have results and you get these products, but I really want you to understand why this is so unique for us. Okay. So if you see, I am like blown away because over and over again, we are seeing so many dramatic results. Even the hands of this lady, I don't even know who this is. I just pick up all these pictures. We know these little knees are Robin
That's
DeMio.
it. Those are robins. Yes.
That's dear Robin, and it's just remarkable to see just a few weeks. We've only had it for a couple of months, really. And, some of us have been taking it. I have been taking it, but not as consistently. And I am actually now seeing results in my neck and in my knees and my forehead is smoothing out. And I was one of those skeptical people because I had taken collagen before and had not seen results. But also, I also read, the science behind a lot of the collagen products where they say that it works, but it doesn't actually. And I'll tell you
Hello
why.
there. How are you?
Oh, whoops. Okay.
Good.
We're going to have you mute. Maybe Tammy, you can help me go through and see. All right,
I'm
so here's
trying to find
Veronique,
her.
and here's another one. She's show a picture of her chest, and you can see like immediately after 6 weeks the smoothing out, and her arms. And you guys tell me in the chat how many of you have any of these visible signs of aging that you want to address, right? Sagging skin, wrinkles, age spots. I know for Asians, age spots is a big deal. Loose skin, thinning and graying hair, weak and brittle nails, paper thin, crepey skin, dry skin, and some of us who have lost a lot of weight, I know I struggle with the loose skin, right? And so any of these things can be, we're kind of discouraged by it sometimes, right? But what came out during PXP has absolutely blown blown us away. And I lovingly call it the glow box, our beauty trifecta, because the very, very most important foundational product is still the drops. But then you add the Everglow and you add the hydration, the Max 2O, and you have something that is absolutely changing people's skin and outlook. So here we have the Everglow. It is from Collab. It's we call it not just collagen, right? Because it's so much more than that. It's a reinforced beauty matrix. And what does that even mean? Well, one of the things is that Everglow goes deeper. A lot of products that we have address the skin, right? And it's the surface of the skin. They're humectants, they give the appearance of plumpness, that's a word, but it doesn't actually go through what's called the extracellular matrix. And it sounds really sci-fi, but it basically is telling you that our cells have, in between the cells, there's a part called extracellular matrix, and that's the part that can be degraded when we get older and we don't have the elasticity anymore. So this product actually has the peptides that it needs to form the collagen that are going to plump your skin back up, and that's why the results are more lasting. Why do we love the hydrolyzed marine collagen?
Yes.
When we look at, I get asked, we've been asked, Tammy and I have been asked multiple times, well, how about the collagen that you can buy at Costco and it's the blue bottle, whatever, right? I know, it's $20, whatever. Okay, that's fine. But if you don't want results like this, but I'm telling you, when you do the research, when you ingest collagen in a powder form, for example, it will be already destroyed by the time it gets to your stomach. It just will, because and the molecules are too big and they will not be absorbed in time for you to actually have a lot of usable molecules. Hydrolyzed marine collagen is actually tiny, tiny nanoparticles, tiny peptides that are really more easily absorbed. And then you can actually use it so that your body can create it. And it's the building blocks to create more collagen. So what we hear everywhere, everyone is talking about peptides, right? Everybody is talking about that. Well, there are multiple peptides out there. More is not better. you you actually want just enough so that it can be used, because the rest of it is just discarded, right? So you want to have enough in a form that your body can actually use it to produce more. If you do not have it in a form that is usable or bioavailable by your body, it is wasteful. It is just going to be discarded, or it will be destroyed in your gut. So we have the hydrolyzed peptides, marine collagen, which is awesome. And then on top of that, our body, the skin actually is, a lot of the problems is because of sun damage. Okay. Actually, almost all of it is from sun damage. And so, when we talk about sunscreen, we know that there are a lot of chemicals in there, and we want to do what we can to protect our body, our skin from the sun. Well, listen, this is white tomato extract, which is a really cool product that actually acts as an internal sunscreen, and it absorbs UV radiation so that it doesn't do the damage that the sun does when you're just walking around. We want sun, but we don't want it to be damaging to our skin. So we have that internal sunscreen. And people who have been using the product, we know that it's been in Europe for a while now, so they have a lot of data on this, but you already can see after 42 days, get 42 and 50, 84 days, we're seeing a lot of difference in hydration, evenness, smoothness, suppleness, texture. I am seeing over and over again, the people that are really noticing the biggest effect right now is the crepey skin. So if you're struggling with any sort of crepiness, the dryness, the thin, fragile skin, that is much more visible. The other issues, it's starting to show. Sunspots are starting to fade. And you know what's so cool? I was just talking to somebody, and he had just his beard. His beard, you can see the color coming back in his beard because it restores that color, which is so crazy to me. Um, Now we also need copper. So copper is actually really, really popular right now as well. But a lot of the copper products that are mixed with collagen are actually synthetic. Okay.
Mm.
This is not, we don't use any synthetic products. We use all natural products. This also strengthens your ECM, the extracellular matrix, and it promotes healthy hair growth. And you will see your hair getting thicker. And I've already talked to somebody yesterday, right, Tammy? She's like, I think my hair is getting thick. I'm like, yes, it is. Like we know that it is, and it preserves your natural hair color. And we don't want to claim that your hair color is going to come back, but some people really, they're seeing their color coming back, which is absolutely remarkable. Now, if you love the platinum like Tammy has, maybe you don't want that to happen,
That's
but
true, Jules. I
it's
just
so
want the tight skin, girl. Let me tell
true,
you,
right?
I'll keep my platinum hair.
It's so true. But that is one of the benefits of using copper in these products. So now when you have collagen and you have all of these, you want to have healthy, glowing skin. You need to be hydrated. We cannot forget how important hydration is. And
Yes.
so Max 2O, here's an electrolyte that when you are just drinking water, sometimes it's not absorbed. It is just peed out. You're not getting it into your cells. And when you have electrolytes, it is absolutely absorbed into your cells, and you will see it be more plump. You can tell me in the chat, how many of you think that you drink enough? Okay. Okay, let's say the opposite. How many of you think that you could do better with drinking? Okay, put a one in the chat. All right. If you can do better with drinking or be more hydrated, put a one in the chat. Right. So, what your diet is often missing, and we hear this over and over again, that we're not hydrated enough. And we think, okay, we drink 8 glasses of water and all this stuff. Right. But actually, we're finding that we need to balance that, because if you have too much water, you will not balance the electrolytes in your body. So it's very, very important that it's balanced for a healthy metabolism. So this is a word that they made because you know that when you're hangry, right? You're like hangry and you're not feeling good and you're in bad mood. Well, they call it now thirst-rated. This is what Partner Co came up with, right? It's that irritable, snacky feeling caused by dehydration, pretending to be hunger. Sometimes in the afternoon, you're actually dehydrated, not hungry, but your body thinks it needs that. Guess what it needs? Salt. And guess what that is? It's in the hydration. It's in Max 2O. All right. So it's actually the more of the electrolytes that you need rather than food. That's why you want to
Right.
go for the chips, right? So here's how your body says that it's dehydrated. It can lead to GI issues. It can lead to confusion, irritability, fatigue, headaches, muscle cramps. How many of you, when you're working out, right? How many of you work out and you are feeling any of this, or you feel like you're trying, you just cannot get that last, set in, right? So it is actually so beneficial when you take electrolytes, and we know that for a fact. Do the electrolytes that actually are absorbable and doesn't taste like salt lick. Cow salt licks, right? It actually tastes good. So let's talk about what's in Max 2O. Magnesium is the power mineral. It actually is essential. Magnesium is essential for ATP production, which is your energy. Okay. It maintains fluid stability, and it just gives you good nerve health and your muscle support. It supports relaxation. So, a lot of people take magnesium for just relaxing, right? Well, we need that. Sodium, the vital mineral, hydration support, it helps to retain the fluids so that you're not just, for lack of a better term, peeing it out, but it also helps with your cellular function, and it helps with your contraction of your muscles. So, when your muscles are really tight, a lot of times you just need more sodium. And that's why I know that when I climb the Manitou incline, I take some peanuts or something like that salty, because we need that sodium for your muscles to keep relaxed, or else it tightens up. And then, of course, the pH balance, so that you don't, when you drink too much water, you can become too alkaline or too acidic, depending on, how much or how little you have. So this is another balancing mineral. And then potassium, right? For those who have, anybody suffer from restless leg syndrome, because I do really badly. For many, many years, I suffered from restless leg. And I always get told, eat bananas. You need the potassium, and the potassium is not, there's not enough in the bananas. There's a lot of sugar in the bananas, but But when you have an electrolyte like this, think about drinking it at the end of the day, and that will actually help to relax so many of your muscles. But it gives you that balance so that you're not contracting and you're not having all of those nerve issues. So that I find that Max 2O, I drink it every morning before I go work out. That's my drink that I take every day when I go work out. And it's actually just helping me. I can feel that energy, and it's not just the water, just plain water that I'm drinking. So last but not least, we have our absolute favorite product, right? Which are the drops. We can't forget how important it is to have a good foundation. And so you take your Slenderiix drops to the max, right? It is absolutely the perfect balance of the Everglow, the drops, and the hydration that gives you this the glow up, right? We call it the glow up. With the drops alone, we know that it's the perfect duo for weight loss. We know that it helps twice as fast lose weight twice as fast as diet and exercise alone. We call it liquid discipline because it helps with our cravings and with our hunger. But we know that it helps to balance our hormones where our cortisol levels are coming down. It curbs. It helps with the release of visceral and subcutaneous fat. It helps with the inflammation, and when all of those things in your body and all of those hormones are balanced, that's when you see the glow. And I know that some of you, including myself, when I was just on the drops, like I could not believe how good my skin started to look. My hair started to feel, my nails started to grow. So that alone, the drops alone are what I recommend. If you had to choose one product, really are the drops first, and then add the other products in there, because you want that proper foundation so that all the other products work to its maximum benefit. Okay, so really quickly with the ingredients, I won't go into it, but it has homeopathy in it, and it just addresses so many different issues: thyroid issues, insulin resistance, energy, just your gut issues. Of course, if you have perimenopause or menopausal issues, just so many things, cortisol being one of the big things that actually is addressed by Accelerate, right? When you have the balance of your hormones and your body is optimized to be the healthiest it can be and to function the way it's supposed to, you start to glow no matter what, because you can see, when you see a person who's healthy, they are just radiating. And so with the drops and with all of these things, we always say balance it with a really good food, with really good nutrition, which is lean meats, veggies, fruits, seeds, nuts, herbs. We don't want you to go and eat all this junk food and think that you're going to be healthy, right? So we want to always balance it with a really good diet. Okay, and this is the approved food list. And then we are seeing so many people with so many incredible results. Like, it's just literally hundreds and thousands of people that have before and afters like this. And it is, again, not just about weight loss. For me, I came in because I had diabetes, and I really wanted to address that and do whatever I could to support my own body so that it could heal itself. And that's exactly what happened. And here's my story, right? 53 years old, perimenopause, high cholesterol, high with diabetes, insomnia, and mom of five with 9 miscarriages. I had so much inflammation in my body. I didn't even know how unwell I was until I started feeling better. And when I started feeling better and all of these issues disappeared, I realized, wow, I can be of optimal health at 53 years old, and I had no idea. So imagine if I had found the drops at 25 years old and I had started to support my system then. It would be so absolutely incredible. And we have Jerry, we have people who've lost a lot of weight, who've had libido issues, who've had anxiety and cravings, energy, and they're seeing results in such a incredible way. We have Dr. Crystal Vance, who lost 160 pounds, and she still continues to maintain that. And that's the thing. People say, do I have to be on these drops forever? Or after I stop, will I just yo-yo right back like Ozempic or, some other product? No, that's not how it works, because you're not dependent on the drops to keep your weight off. Your drops help to maintain homeostasis, and then your body starts to maintain a healthy weight by itself. We've got Marcia. We've got couples that are losing weight, right? Marcia and Michael. This couple lost almost 80 pounds or over 80 pounds together, and they did it as a couple. And so you can do that as well. And you can, when you see families that change together and are happier together and function, and the children are saying, "Wow, mom and dad, like I'm just so happy that we have you." Healthy like this and playing with us, and you have energy for us, and they're not stressed. Like, what it transforms families, their lives, and how they function. So here's the thing. There's option one, right? You can be a customer and buy retail. You can go on the website of the person who invited you, and you can go ahead and buy retail. But why do that when you have so many other options, right? The second option is that you can be a customer and buy a bulk order price, or you can get a discount. You can talk to the person who invited you to this call and see what is the best way that I can get this at a discount. That we have a lot of bundles where you can buy this trifecta together, and it's at a reduced rate. So what a great way to start and see what you can do with your health in just 90 days. We ask you to give it 90 days because on a cellular and metabolic level, you really, really need that. But option number three that I want to talk to you about is that becoming a wholesale member. It does not mean that you have to operate a business, okay? Which when you start seeing results, and when people start seeing it on you, they're going to be like, "What in the world are you doing? Because whatever you have, like, take my money." Like, I want this, right? And that's what happened to me, and I was like, "No, I don't want to do that." But for those of you who don't want to do a business, that's totally fine. You can have wholesale membership at 30% discount with a one-time fee of $29.95. And there are hundreds of products in there. You don't even just have to buy the drops. You have access to all of the products that we have, and they're absolutely remarkable. Um, let me talk a little bit about the business for $29.95. And if you have an order of 200 PV, what does that even mean? You can talk to the person who invited you and say, "Okay, I'm interested in just starting this business. I want just a little bit of money on the side. I'm getting ready for Christmas. I know that things are coming up. What would it take for me to make, whatever, a couple $100s a week?" Like, talk to them about that. Talk to me about that if I invited you. You get a replicated website, you get a back office, you get so many tools, but you also have training, and you have a system that is honestly one of the most simple systems, and that is so effective, and it's a plug and play and ready to go, and you don't have to come up with anything ingenious. We have it all for you. And so ask about that and how that can happen for you. All right, so here's a Glowbox party special, right? So if you get, so for those of you, some of you might not have access to this, but ask again your person who invited you. If they have it in stock, you can buy the Glow Box for $290. The take home bundle, there's all these different things that are in there, or you can get the drops, the Everglow, and the Max 2O separately. This is my pricing. But talk to the person who invited you and see what their pricing is and get it for a discount. But even better, if you are wanting to sign up as a wholesale member, you can, for $29.95, you can go on the website and you can actually get 2 months worth for $460. And that's going to save you over way more than 30%. It's actually almost 40% off for this bundle with a 2 months worth. Now, before I stop, I have to tell you about our other trifecta that is absolutely flying off the shelves, right, Tammy? This is probably our most popular
Yes.
one. And it is the drops, and it is something called Advantage, which is thermogenic, and it is helping people to get rid of their visceral fat much faster. Because with the drops alone, as you are getting into a state of homeostasis, then you start releasing the fat. So it's a little bit slower process. However, with a thermogenic, you're going to see a fat burn very much, much quicker. And then we have Sugar Stop, which is a carb and sugar blocker. So if you want to have a little bit of a cheat day, but don't use it for that. But if you want to just help to balance your sugar, your insulin levels, then Sugar Stop is an absolute must every single day for when you eat whatever you eat. But this is another 2 month bundle that you can get for a really, really significant savings. But ask about that, and that's for $29.95. You can sign up and you can get that as well and get started on your journey. So I just whipped through that presentation. I am happy, Tammy and are happy to stay here and answer some questions, but I am so grateful that you all came. This recording will actually be available, and I'm going to keep the recording on for anybody who has any questions. But yeah, thank you so much for coming. Tammy, do you want to add anything? Tams? Oh, is Tammy stuck? Oh, she's
It's so wonderful. Amazing.
there. You go. There you
Can
go.
you hear me?
Yeah, we gotcha.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm so sorry. Yeah, it's so wonderful, Julie. Thank you so much. There's so much to learn. That's the thing. We have so many amazing products, but remember, we always get started with the drops and we build out from there because we want our bodies balanced. And that's what the drops do. I call it a foundational product because I think it is foundational for our health.
Yes.
But Julie, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. You might want to end the recording.
Yep, I'll end the recording.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone, for
Thank you
joining
so
us.
much.